Hey, you're with Vic Ferrari in the garage. I am redoing a master cylinder. This is the turning brake style master cylinder. It's made by Girling. This is a number 6 or V1 Roman numeral. So the reason I'm redoing this is because if you put on the brakes it works, but it will start to bleed down as you sit still at a stoplight or on a hill. And the other problem, when you use your turning brake, it will also bleed down, which tells me that the problem is up here in the front seal. If you watch my other video, you will see how this is built and why it's failing at the front seal, because it is designed for turning brake, and watch that other video. So let's jump right in and get this thing fixed. All right, so we are rebuilding a Girling 6. It's a Roman numeral V1, which is 6. I rebuilt this, the video didn't work, and I couldn't upload it, so now I'm actually rebuilding it, and it has new parts in it, but I want to do the rebuild videos, so if you're wondering why I'm putting the new parts back on, it's because it's got new parts in it. Kit you're going to need is a Moss Automotive. It's a GRK 1027. It comes with a new cup for the dust cap. Comes with a new seal for the front of the piston. Comes with a rear seal for the piston. Comes with a spring, which is actually out of order. It belongs up here because it goes behind the cup for the front. Comes with a new locking ring. Comes with some grease to grease all of it as you're putting it together. So jumping into this, all you got to do is gently roll this cap back off of here. Okay, and then once I get it back here, to get it out of my way, I invert it like that. Now in here you're going to have a clip, which is this. There you go. It's got those. You're just going to hook that, pull it loose, and it comes out with the shaft. So you've got this head, a washer, and then the clip ring. So you're just going to set that over here. Now you're going to have to get this piston out. If yours is old or stuck or whatever, you're going to want to cover this with your hand or the cap if it's sealed. Take your air compressor and put it on here with a blower chuck. Do not blow it like this. It'll shoot out and it's either going to hurt somebody or it's going to be gone. Put it on the counter. Okay, you're going to want to disassemble this. The way this works is you lift up on this tab very gently. You don't want to bend it far. And as you do, you're going to pull outward. There we go. You don't want to bend that tab any further than you need to. There. Okay, and that surprisingly shot off there because it came out of the piece. And the spring came off. There we go. So the way you get this out is, you can see there is a keyhole. You compress the spring and this locks in the keyhole. It cannot unlock when it is connected to this, because it will be inside there and it can't move to the side to get out. So it won't come off unless you have this off of here. So once you have that off, you're going to take this plastic guide cup off. They don't give you a new one, so be careful. These might be brittle. Take the spring off, and then take your little cup off. bit of a challenge to get it off. There we go. Now, usually what fails is this little cup. And when you're bleeding your master cylinder, or you've ran it out of fluid, that's what will fail, because there's a little wall right here with a hole in it. Just watch my other video on the master cylinder. And when you bottom out your pedal, you will ram that seal into that wall and it'll cut and damage the seal. Then you start leaking fluid up into your reservoir. You'll lose your brake pedal, you'll lose your turning brake. So when you're bleeding these, you don't want to ram your pedal all the way to the bottom like a standard master cylinder. You're going to want to actually just do little pumps with, maybe your hand. If not, make sure you don't bottom out. Okay? So now that we have those off, we're going to go ahead and pull this piece. There we go. So now we are ready for our rebuild. If you have this honed, or if it's just clean and ready to go, this is how you rebuild it. You're going to take your piston, you're going to lube this up with the grease, you're going to stretch it over it. It goes over real easy. Push it all the way to the back. It's ready to go. Set it aside. Take your piston, take your seal. Make sure that your seal is not flat when you put it on. Make sure that the flat goes towards this, because there is a cup in there. So just gently stretch it over. Goes right on. Next thing, make sure this spring is on this before this. Put it on, drop it through, and what that is, it gives us the springy ability so that it will always try and engage that seal. Okay, so just make sure that that is in the springy position. Hold it in place, put your fingers on it. Get this ready and push it down through the keyway and lock it in place. Once you have it, you will slide it. Piston will go in this hole. And then that locks in place. I always go ahead and just give it a little bit of a squeeze. And check that it's locked underneath. Once you have that, you can center this plastic piece up. If it's off balance, get it straight, because it's going to want to seat inside there. Now, you're going to take some lube, put it on here. I'm just going to take some from there. Make sure that you lube this so that it goes in easy. Set it in gently. As soon as the seal touches, you're going to start just gently rotating. That keeps the seal from bending backwards. Once you feel it's in, just slide her on home. Grab your piston. Make sure your boot's up out of the way so that it doesn't fight you. Grease this piston. Okay, so you're going to turn this straight up. You're going to take this, set it down in there, make sure the washer drops all the way. Grab your locking ring. Get your locking ring in as deep as you can get it. Then go around and make sure the locking ring is in place until you see it drop all the way. And what you're looking for is most of that locking ring should be gone. It should be recessed into the groove. And it is. So we're good shape. We're going to take the cup, dust cover, we're going to stretch it back over, put it in place, replace your seal if you need to. And there you go, you're all done, ready to reinstall it on the car. Okay, now this is something that you're going to want to do. If you put your brake line together and you try to start bleeding this and you haven't bled the master cylinder, you are going to just draw air back and forth and it will not start bleeding. So if you leave this line open, you will just suck air back and forth in the piston. It won't pull anything from here. So as you can see, it's just blowing bubbles. I don't know if you can see that. It's pumping, but it's mainly blowing bubbles. Okay? You're just going to put your thumb gently over it. Put the rag there so that you don't have fluid all over your garage. Push it, let it spray out. Keep your thumb on it so that it can't suck air back in. And then, when you have a nice hard pedal, you're good to go. You can take your thumb off and you can put your brake line on. Then you go ahead and start bleeding your brakes. Okay, you're going to need to do this if you don't have an assistant who can pump the pedal while you open and close. Okay? Bleeding brakes is not a big deal by yourself, but you need something to keep the air from going back. So if you get a bottle of water, get the water out of it, put the cap on, you're going to poke 2 holes in here. One is for air to go in and out so you don't create a vacuum in the bottle. The other hole is going to be across from it and it is going to be bigger. And the purpose for that one is going to be for the hose. You're going to push the hose through. You're going to push it all the way to the bottom of the bottle. There we go. Then you're going to want to make sure that you put the bottle in a position that you can see it. Put your 1/4 inch wrench back on, but I put it back on upside down, or backwards I should say, so that the bend is not going towards the tube. Take your tube, push it onto the nipple, and then you're going to want to make sure that your master cylinder is full. Check it, check it, check it, check it, check it. If it goes down, it will suck air. You're going to start all over again. Loosen it like that, and now watch the bottle. I'm going to go pump the brake, and we're going to pump. 1, 2, 3. And refill the master cylinder again. And pump. 1, 2, 3. And I am starting to get a really great pedal. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. You don't have to kill it, just close it. Now we're going to move to the other side. We're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to put our wrench on. Okay, it's full. So we're going to start to bleed. Pumping. 1, 2, 3. I just got a really good pedal. So I think we got most of the air out, and we're going to close that line. That's all it takes to bleed in your brakes.